course, music is a special feature of the wedding service itself. Did you choose any of the hymns yourself, any of the music?
The one here, My Verity in My Country, which has always been my favourite since school days.
In September 1997, Britain was convulsed by an unprecedented outpouring of grief. It marked the final act in a public life of exceptional drama, which for nearly 2 decades had enthralled the entire planet. Now, many years after Princess Diana's death, it's sometimes hard to remember just how extraordinary, intense, and turbulent those years were. So today, we are going to relive those years through archive footage of the period, much of it rarely seen before. And in this series of programmes, we'll also be playing music of the times, most of it from Princess Diana's own personal collection of favourites. We'll be throwing new light on many aspects of her story, and we'll also be trying to answer a question that hasn't really been asked before. What was it all about? Was Princess Diana actually important, or simply a beautiful woman who happened to be the mother of a future king? So here they are then, the Diana years. The fairy tale began in 1980. There had long been speculation about who the Prince of Wales might one day marry. Suddenly, informed opinion suggested it might be Lady Diana Spencer, the unknown daughter of an aristocrat. This news came against a bleak background of nearly 10 years of economic, industrial, and social upheaval.
The economy was, we were the sick man of Europe. Because of it, we'd had a sort of national humiliation, and social tensions were very sharp.
And along comes this beautiful, young, fresh, new face, 19 years old, with a lovely smile, big blue eyes. Thank goodness, everybody thought, you know, a fresh feeling in the air. And the world just fell in love with the idea of the promise, I think, of Diana. She seemed so innocent and so fresh in this kind of mildewing theme park of a country as we become.
Well, the Spencers are an old grand family of the aristocracy, and in fact her ancestors were involved in changing the dynasty from the Stuarts to the Hanoverians, or rather William of Orange.
The Spencer family are a formidable family in this country. They've got these vast estates in Northamptonshire and Althorp. They own a number of paintings that would, if we had one of them and flogged it, it would get us out of all our troubles.
Many of Diana's relations were courtiers or friends of royalty. Before he inherited his earldom, Diana's father actually lived with his family on the royal estate at Sandringham, and they apparently had ambitions to be even closer to their royal neighbours.
I believe the Spencers, for some considerable time, had thought, I don't know why we're just serving this lot, why aren't we actually getting involved with them?
At 19, Lady Diana went up to London and began working as a children's nanny.
I wanted to teach children, and they said, why not come along? So I first started off doing afternoons, and then I took over the mornings and did whole days.
Apart from being aristocratic, Lady Diana had one other invaluable qualification.
Diana, leading up to the engagement, had never really had a boyfriend. She'd only just started to live on her own. She'd led a very closeted life as the daughter of an aristocratic family.
And she wasn't a lady of the world. She was very naive, and she was what the royal family were looking for. She was the archetypal virgin.
Is there any possibility of any announcement of your marriage in the near future? Can you tell me? Can you tell me if there's any possibility?
But I'm not going to say anything. Right,
but Prince Charles did give us a hint himself. He said we wouldn't have to wait too long.
Careful.
He said we wouldn't have to wait too long. Was he completely off theme? Was he?
Sorry.
Was he completely off theme when he said we wouldn't have to wait too long?
No.
By late 1980, reporting on whether the romance was on or off reached fever pitch.
This evening, Prince Charles accompanied the Queen Mother at a special royal variety performance at the London Palladium in honour of her 80th birthday. Lady Diana wasn't there.
The intense media scrutiny and hysterical public speculation was finally put to an end with the announcement of Lady Diana's engagement to Prince Charles in February 1981.
Right, innit? Cheers everybody out, to something like this. Well, he's getting on a bit, innit? About time we got married.
Yesterday you were a nanny looking after children. It's a tremendous change for someone, if I may say, of 19 to make all of a sudden.
It is, but I've had a small run out to it all in the last 6 months. And next to Prince Charles and I can't go wrong. He's there with me.
Why have you come here today?
To try and get a glimpse of Diana and Charles.
Because I think she's just the right person for him.
I'm amazed that she's been brave enough to take me on.
And I suppose in love.
Of course.
Whatever in love means.
Well, it obviously means two very happy people.
Yes.
Once again, congratulations.
Well, from us, congratulations.
I understand that Prince Charles actually asked you for your daughter's hand.
Yes, he did. Very nicely. Very nicely. And he said, rather surprisingly, she agreed to marry me, he said.
It's an unknown world for her, but I'm sure she can cope and learn very quickly.
But how well would she cope? Despite the smiles, Lady Diana's life was being turned upside down.
There was Diana living in a flat in London with her girlfriends and leading an ordinary kind of social life.
Second the announcement was made, bang, she was out of there.
She's whisked out of that and stuck into Buckingham Palace, which is probably the most uncosy building. And then it's physically enormously distanced from the world. If you look out of the windows from there, you see this huge forecourt and the railings and the crowds sort of over there. And I think that she felt incredibly lonely.
Within weeks, Lady Diana Spencer was being groomed as a future queen, making her first appearance at Royal Ascot. But she was not quite the easygoing, relaxed person she appeared to be. Her childhood had been deeply troubled.